I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. I'm excited to have Joan Poon present this presentation with us on mindset. This is something that I've been practicing for many, many years, and there's always something to learn, and it really is a journey as you're growing, and not only in your business but also in your personal life. And that's something that I think we're always striving for, just to become better at what we do as a mother, as a wife, as a business partner, as a husband, as a grandparent. So let's maybe just hear what Joan has to say for joining us. And we are going to hope this works. Let me know if you thumbs up if you can hear. Sometimes come on, Joan. Here we go.
Good evening, everyone. I have the pleasure of presenting today's topic on mindset. And as you look at that picture there, it says mindset is everything. And as you look at the picture, what do you see? What do you see in your reflection? Just food for thought. So my name is Joan Poon, and I've been with Neolife for the past 28 years. I started off as a product user. I had just finished treatments for breast cancer, and I was looking for something to boost my immune system, my energy level. And I got amazing results with the products. And I started sharing with friends and family. And it just evolved into a business. And so I've been doing this for 28 years. So mindset has been a very important part of my journey in the business. So tonight, I'm going to talk about the definition of mindset, what it is, the different mindsets. Tonight we'll just focus on fixed and growth mindset. We focus mainly on growth mindset. And then there's Tony Robbins has 8 ways to master the sales mindset. Okay, so what is mindset? Mindset is a set of beliefs that people have about their personal qualities, like their intelligence and their talent. It influences how they think, how they feel and behave in any given situation. It means that what they believe about themselves impacts their success or their failure. So what builds a mindset? First, we must pay attention to our words and our thoughts. Listen to what you're saying and what you're thinking, just being self-aware. And you censor yourself and become your own guide. You replace negative thoughts with more positive ones to build a growth mindset, and replace judgment with acceptance and hate with compassion. Those are some of the things that you do to build a growth mindset. So here's a video explaining about growth mindset.
Have you ever thought, I'm just not good at this? If so, you've experienced what Stanford professor Carol Dweck calls a fixed mindset, a belief that your talent and intelligence are innate and can't improve. Until recently, most people believed that you are born with a fixed level of intelligence, that some people were born with high levels of intelligence and others were born with low intelligence, and that no matter how hard you worked, you could do very little to change your brain power. However, scientific research has found that this belief is not true, and that your brain is just like other muscles in your body and can change and grow through exercise. Just like exercise can increase the strength of your muscles, your brain grows and becomes stronger when you use it. And just like your muscles, your brain grows the most from working on challenging tasks. Here is a brain that is less developed, like the brain of a young child. Notice how there is little activity and few active connections in the brain. Now, here is a more developed brain. Notice how different the brain looks. You can see many new connections have formed, and the structure of the brain has physically changed as it has become stronger. what we can see is that our brains grow as a result of the accumulated effort in working hard to learn and try new things. When you learn new things, the tiny connections in your brain multiply and get stronger. The more that you challenge your brain, the more that your brain cells grow. We see how the connections within the brain have grown. It is important to remember that we learn the most when we fail at something and then work hard at identifying why we failed and learning from that experience. Does this mean that when someone fails, we quickly point out that they failed so they can learn from that experience? Not necessarily. Consider a young child learning to walk. Although falling down could be seen as failing to walk, we celebrate each attempt and applaud the baby for its effort in learning this important skill. Each time the child progresses in learning, she develops new skills and it forges stronger connections in the brain that help the mind grow stronger. Some children learn faster than others, but eventually children that continue to keep trying will learn to walk. Just like a child learning to walk, you can change your intelligence. As long as you do not give up, and as long as you continue to work hard, you can learn and develop new skills and abilities, and you can overcome challenges in your life. Your brain can and does grow, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets. The best way to grow your brain isn't to do things that are easy or comfortable, but to do things that are hard. When you have to struggle and exert more effort, your brain grows stronger. In fact, research shows that your brain grows the most not when you get a question right, but when you get a question wrong and when you put forth the effort to study and learn why you missed the question. The key to growth is practice, but many people miss out on growing their intelligence because they believe they can't do it. It's just too hard, or they are afraid of failing. Change does require work, and sometimes it is painful, but this work is necessary for growth. This perspective is called a growth mindset and means that you believe that your abilities in life are not fixed based on the circumstances you were born into, but believing that if you work hard and continue to try new things and learn from mistakes that you can grow and change your condition in life. While all individuals are going to have a mix of fixed and growth mindset in different activities at different times, you can help yourself succeed by favoring a growth mindset. So how does this apply to business? People with a growth mindset aren't threatened by criticism or feedback. They welcome it as fuel for improvement. They don't waste time trying to seem capable. They use failure as an opportunity to learn and improve. They're more resilient in the face of setbacks. Even employees that begin with relatively less skill can, with a growth mindset, outperform their peers who have a fixed mindset. In Fortune 100 companies that display a fixed mindset, employees perceive less integrity and collaboration at work. They also express less trust and commitment to their employers. Since employee retention saves big money, the growth mindset has big implications for business on the micro and macro level. Develop the growth.
So that's a video on growth mindset. And that was, the information here is mainly taken from Dr. Carol Dweck, and she's a Stanford psychologist, and she has done a lot of the research on mindset. Okay, so let's talk about fixed mindset and growth mindset. So with someone with a fixed mindset says either I'm good at it or I'm not. And a growth mindset, I can learn to do anything I want. And just to mention about labeling, usually, you don't, labeling someone like a kid smart or kid dumb, even the smart label is not a good label, because the label it puts pressure on them not to try new things, because then they don't want to look dumb if they don't succeed. So instead of saying you're smart, just talk about the process, that they've tried in terms of finding a solution, right? Like if they pass the exam, say, oh, that's great that you studied really hard, or you went for help from your teacher, or you, whatever it is. So you don't just label them. So everyone, whether you considered smart or dumb, you can still learn and do anything you want, right? So with a fixed mindset, that's just who I am, I can't change it. Whereas with a growth mindset, it's I'm a constantly evolving work in progress, and that's what we all are, work in progress. If you have to work hard, you don't have the ability. Whereas in a growth mindset, the more you challenge yourself, the smarter you become. And it's really true. When you challenge yourself, your brain cells, you have more connections in your brain cells and it actually grows. If I don't try, then I won't fail. And I know a lot of us are guilty of that. I'm guilty of that sometimes. I only fail when I stop trying. The job position is totally out of my league. Or the growth mindset person would say, that job position looks challenging. Let me apply for it. And I'll use a relevant one for us. Doing presentations on Thursday night or Tuesday night is totally out of my league. Or with a growth mindset, you'd say, doing a presentation looks scary and challenging, but I think I'd like to do it. I'd like to try to do the presentation. And you just get the skills, you find out how to do it, and just do something like that. So that's one challenge you can look at if you have a growth mindset. So this is 8 ways to master the sales mindset by Tony Robbins. There are a lot of different mindsets, but we're just focusing on the fixed and the growth and also the sales mindset tonight. So the first one is connect sales to purpose. When you connect your purpose to your business, it makes you want to be better, you achieve more, and you grow. You grow in your career. Be genuine. The sales mindset happens naturally when you share your passion with others rather than trying to sell. Passion and purpose will draw people to you. The third one, always connecting. Customers buy from people they like. So you focus more on connecting and building rapport rather than closing. And building rapport allows you to build trust and get others to listen to you, and then influence them to consider your solution. Number 4, creating solutions. Remember, you're selling solutions. What do people need? They need more time. They need more energy, more productivity. And that's what our business and our products can do for people. So those are the solutions. Number 5, know your X factor. You need to know what makes your product different. Find out what your product does better than anyone else's product. That's the X factor. So we've got to focus on that. It's the reason customers will choose you over your competitors. And it's essential to work it into your sales pitch. So knowing your X factor is really important. Building resilience. Even with the right mindset and the right skills, you won't be successful 100% of the time. So you have to remember that failure is always part of success. And those who turn obstacles into opportunities and keep going back, even after major failures, are the ones who will become successful. Number 7, adopt empowering habits. A morning ritual starts your day right. Healthy eating and exercise can give you the energy and vitality you need to meet your goals. Practicing gratitude puts you in a positive sales mindset and attracts even more positivity through the law of attraction. And also being ready for your day with your daily method of operation is also another empowering habit. Number 8, commit to CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. The best salespeople know that they're never done learning and growing, and they take every opportunity to feed their minds, learn from others, and gain new skills, like learning about what the growth mindset is one of them. So another important area is words. I think we don't realize how important they are. They're instrumental in the expression of our thoughts and feelings, and that's how we communicate to each other. Words have energy and power with the ability to help, to heal, to hinder, to hurt, to harm, to humiliate, and to humble. So let's become more intentional with our choice of words. So everything begins inside your mind. And with the right mindset, which is the growth mindset, you will succeed. So having a a growth mindset, there are lots of benefits to having a growth mindset. So you have more confidence, you have happier life, stronger relationships, less fear, greater resilience, more opportunities, a sense of curiosity. And I'm not sure if I said less stress in the beginning. So I'll end with this last video because it's an actionable one, and we'll talk about it after. So here we go.
Make a development plan. Make a development plan. Make a development plan. You are the learning development officer in your life. Not someone in HR, not your old teachers, you are. And for those who've been with me for so long, you know I say this all the time. If I parachuted into your house today, here I come. Watch out! If Brendan showed up in your house today and we opened up another tab and we opened up your calendar and I stepped through your calendar for the next 6 months, is it terribly obvious to me what you are working on, what skills you're trying to develop, what projects you're trying to complete, to stretch yourself, to grow yourself? Or is every day another reaction day? Because listen, if every day is another reaction day, you are in a fixed mindset. Write it down. If every day is another reaction day, you're in a fixed mindset. You stopped believing in big projects that would require you to schedule stuff out. You stopped thinking, what skills must I master to grow? Because you're just trying to handle all the problems. Remember, you're stuck in one signal of problems. So a development plan, what does that mean? What's the next 5 books you're going to read? What are they? Here's the difference if you know you have books and a development plan, or you just have books, okay? If you have a development plan, you know the next 5 books you're going to read. Why? Because you began with an outcome, not just chasing down a bestseller or an interest or what showed up in your inbox. You said, I'm trying to develop the skill of public speaking. So your next 5 books are on public speaking. I'm trying to grow my business. Your next 5 books on scaling the business. I'm trying to improve my marriage. Next 5 books on your marriage. Now, obviously, I'm using books as a metaphor, but maybe that books is online courses. Maybe that books is online live casts like this. Maybe that books is podcasts. I don't know why became a podcast. I don't think this is the podcast sign. Okay, we got to figure out, okay, what is my development plan? What are the conferences, the courses, the events, the trainings, virtual, online, in person? Who are my mentors? What are the resources I'm going to stack up, and when am I going to consume them? That's what's important. Please listen. Please listen. Let me break down development plan for you. Ready? Number 1, outcome. What am I trying to grow into? What am I trying to improve? What am I trying to make happen? See, a growth mindset needs you to cast out an outcome. Growth mindset doesn't just say, I'm good, I can learn. No, there's an objective. I'm going to get better at that test. I'm going to improve that marriage. I'm going to lose that 10 pounds. I'm going to be more active. There's something there. There's an outcome. Then we work backwards. Okay, what must I learn to grow into that outcome? What must I learn about myself? What skills must I develop? What can I learn from other people? You know, every outcome I've ever after in my life, I read biographies of people who already achieved that outcome. I buy books that are specifically built for that outcome. I follow, listen, or consume content or courses or trainings like this from people who already achieved that outcome. And I listen to how they think. I listen to what they do. And most importantly, on top of an outcome, right? I said development plan. Number 1, outcome. Number 2, what must I learn? What must I learn? Okay. What must I learn? Number 3, how will I learn it? How will I learn it? Books, podcasts, following this person, going to these conferences, engaging virtually like this. But number 4, and here it is. This is why I brought up the calendar. Notice Brennan, the little productivity kid, getting excited about this calendar thing. Come on, people. I know it's weird, but listen, it's got to show up in your calendar. You don't have a development plan, even if you have a full shelf of books. Let me say it out loud for a hallelujah. You don't have a development plan just because you have a full shelf of books. When will you read what? When will you take what? When will you try what? A development plan is fundamentally fixed in its success based on scheduling. I know that's not sexy, so let me make it sexy. Raise your hand if you're grateful for life. Raise your hand if you're grateful for life. Okay. Raise both hands if you have people to serve, who you love and lead. You want to serve and add great value to people you love and lead. Okay? So you're grateful. Raise your both hands. Go like this. If you're grateful, I can see you all. I can see you all. Go like this if you're grateful for your life. Amen. If you're grateful for life. Okay. Here's the greatest breakthrough I ever had. If you are really grateful for life, if you have reverence for life, you really care about time management. If you believe life is precious, clearly you know it's also short. So now you deeply care about the time that you spend on things. And time becomes something that you are consistently managing towards, experiencing, living, setting up, so that life is valuable. Like if we're happy to be alive, we're like, God, thank you for this time I have on earth. Then notice that. God, thank you for this time I have on earth. Don't you think you'd ever go, use it well? You know what I'm saying? So you're not developing yourself if it's not in the calendar. You're hoping you grow. You can't keep hoping you grow. You must grow. How do you do that? It's in the schedule.
So that was not great? Yeah. So it's actionable, I guess, if you follow his plan. And we've, the Tuesday sessions, we've been doing that. Shelley started with the vision, setting goals and planning, time management, and now we have the mindset. So it's full package here. So I'm gonna end with this. And I forgot to mention that, with the fixed and the growth mindsets, sometimes you go back and forth depending on the situations. You're never in complete growth mindset or fixed. So just so that you know, it's a continuum.
Make a development plan. Make a development.
Okay, so remember, you're braver than you believe, you're stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you think. And that's by Christopher Robin, who is Winnie the Pooh's friend. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope we all develop a growth mindset or just have that awareness. And thank you for allowing me to do this, to share this with you.
Wow. I think that leaves a lot of thinking. Anything that kind of jumped out at you guys? Anything at all that might enhance or maybe make things clear? I know there was a lot. Please don't be afraid. You can unmute yourself now. That was pretty powerful, guys.
One thing that I can say that really, I've noticed it by saying it more, time is short, so make the best of it. Make the most of your life. And what he said, just owns in the fact that time is short and we take it for granted. We shouldn't take it for granted, right? So that hit me real hard. There you go. Not as young as I used to be. Amen. That's it. You go.
Okay.
That's a bit. Yeah, but time is short, so make most of it.
Thank you. Shelley.
I think two things kind of did. One is, we always want to have the right answers to things. And obviously, that's a great thing if we know that. But it's okay to not know it or to make a mistake, because that's where the growth is, because then you sit back and figure out like how to figure that out and you know how to get to the right answer or the solution or whatever we're trying to do for our clients. So it's okay to not have the right answer. That was the one thing that really stood out. And the second thing was, I think it even goes back to like when he says the whole development plan. I mean, we talked a bit about it with the vision and the plan in that aspect, but you know, when I think back to the time management presentation that I did and we slotted everything in, I didn't slot in the part where we sat for a bit and just figured out what exactly our development plan was and yes, we're going to go to manager, senior manager, emerald director, wherever it wants to be, but what is the plan? And we did a bit of plan, but actually sitting down to figure that all out so that we're constant and what skills we need then to do that and what training we need to pop on, like the leadership or these Tuesday ones or discover more to kind of understand the whole concept of the success program. So I think that's something that is really, really important if we want to move forward, is to actually have that in front of us and posted somewhere so that we're building on those skills, working towards it.
Thank you, Shelley. That was actually really good. Anybody else? How about the books comment? All the books.
5 books.
Yeah, that kind of
Definitely.
scared me because you guys know that one of my, I got to get out of that mindset is I have a fear of reading. I don't enjoy reading, but the podcast thing, I have a podcast thing on my phone now. I need to use it more. So and listen to more things, and I think that's something, and schedule it in my calendar, like what podcasts I'm going to be listening to. And there's a few I've kind of wanted to, but I didn't write it down. I don't have it anywhere. I just kind of thought about it. But yeah, that was something, is getting more on track on that personal development side of things. You too, Jennifer? I see you
That's the
put your
same as
hand
me
up.
with the books. Yeah, like anything I was doing with self-development or networking or anything, any books that were suggested, or I saw Tony Robbins one, so anything he said I kind of bought, and I have like quite a few books there, but they're just there.
Yeah.
I just either I fall asleep like 2 pages in, and I used to be a really avid reader, so I think I would start it with the audio though, which doesn't do
Mhm.
much for my bookcase, but at least they're
Excellent.
getting in
Excellent.
here. And also one thing, a bit of self-reflection, when she said about label, or she said about labeling, I always heard that, I know that, but I don't know, I was always labeled smart, and like I hit genius status when I was little, and there was always this me smart, like always, always, always. And I think that's a lot of the reason I hold back, because of that fear of failure, because I was always just, everything was always so effortless. So when it's something that is challenging, I can get a little, feel it in my throat a little bit even saying it. But I think that's
Wow.
something to kind of just focus on a bit more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Serena.
Well, I have the same comment about books. I have to be honest, I have bought so many books in the last 7 or 8 months. This year, I have bought so many books. And I don't know why, but I use a Kleenex as a bookmarker. And I swear, half of these books have Kleenex halfway through the book. And I never finished the book. Like I start another one before I finish the last one. I don't know why. My mind needs to slow down, concentrate, focus on that. But yeah, so and like Jen said, just I need to put those books into my schedule and take, even if it's just a 15-minute period of time in the day. And it like, what was that one book that we read, The Compound Effect? You know, how you just, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, because looking at a whole book kind of seems overwhelming, but so that definitely resonated. And also too, like just, yeah, the failure and how important failure is, and building resiliency. And I mean, I now sharing the life today, share it very differently than what I did back, a couple of years ago when I first started. And that's just because of a learning process and what I found worked and what, didn't. And being genuine, like one of those 8 things that of Tony Robbins, and just speaking from the heart. And it's you learn, and it gets easier as you go on. So definitely failure and learning.
Thank you. I did see a difference in you today talking to people.
Oh, good.
So that's great. That's where the personal growth and the personal development has come, right? So yeah, you were very, I mean, you always been genuine, but you can tell that passion was coming out, and you were calm, and people felt that. So that's great. Thank you.
Good. Thanks.
Anybody else?
Well, I always remember Heather. She would phone me when she was driving somewhere. So she was maximizing her time. And she'd always listen to podcasts when she was driving, because she lives out in the country, and she'd always be going into town to do the laundry, to buy the groceries, to visit people, to see her daughter's workplace, to pick up kids, to drop off kids, grandkids. And she'd always have podcasts on.
Mm.
And she'd always phone me. And I knew that when she phoned me, she was in the car, because that was a time that she was free. She wasn't busy doing something else that she couldn't talk to somebody at the same time. So she's maximizing her time. And I do remember that podcast thing. That I think, I can't see myself having 5 books on the bedside table, because I have books on my bedside table, and I always read before I go to sleep. But that's what puts me to sleep. So I can't be learning at the same time. I figure that's got to be entertainment. But the podcast, when you're driving, you can't go to sleep. But I think that's really, I'm just thinking about that maybe I'm going to start listening to podcasts when I'm in the car. Short ones, because I'm not in the car that long.
That's okay.
Still, it would be a start to have 5 on my list that I would listen to over the next, 3 to 4 days.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Shelley.
And I think maybe just to kind of tag on to that and make it and have everybody think about this from the development plan that he was talking about. I think, the 5 book, the podcast, the whatever it is that you're connecting with. Sometimes it's for leisure. Sometimes it's your getaway, exactly what you said, where I read it before I go to bed, or sometimes, you're sitting at the beach and you just want to read a book and it's your relaxing time. I think when he was talking about looking at the podcast and the books, it was to develop a skill as part of your plan to move forward. So, if you are trying to figure out communication skills, let's say, then that might be what you're listening about podcasts about, because that's the skill that you want to develop, that will help you move forward with whatever your plan is to reach wherever you want to go, right? Or maybe it's a couple of different videos that Ashley and Stephen do, because you're trying to figure out how to connect with people, to bring them into the 3-on-1s, or to invite them to a discover more. And those are the things that you're listening to as you go along. So just kind of recognize in your mind whether or not you're doing it for your leisure, because have fun, relax, get some enthusiasm about it, or whether it's something that's going to help you with your development plan to move forward with your business, right?
Joan isn't on tonight in the flesh, but
No.
she can identify with what I'm going to say now, because when I did the year-long program with Mary Morrissey, I didn't realize I was going to be sent a box full of books. So I still have those books. And every once in a while, Joan pulls one out and I think, I've got that book. I should read it. I should take the Kleenex out that's not even halfway through and start reading it from the beginning again. But yeah, lots of books to read. And every time somebody talks about a book, whether it's Oh, it used to be Josh. He would tell us about different books. I'd always write it down in the author and with the intention to get it. And some I got, depended on whether or not I had a book on the go. I never thought about having 5 books, being 5 books ahead of myself all the time. That's great. I could do that. It's interesting. I'll try it. I have to say, I started when I first started doing the business and I was coming to the health talks on Tuesday and Thursday, and later that included the training because the training became very interesting. I just thought I would learn by osmosis. The more I go to, the more I listen, the more I'm going to learn. But in fact, you need to use it. I need to be out there talking about what I'm learning. And that's what I'm not doing. So good learning.
Yes.
Dr.
Anybody else? Some of you that have been quiet. No? All right. I know you guys are thinking, though. I can see it in your eyes. I can feel the vibes. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. And Shelley, I think next week we have Mary Ellen that's joining us on how to retain customer retention, which is a really good one, especially in our field. Yeah. And she's our other holistic nutritionist, but she's been in Neolife for over 28 years, and she's built an incredible team. And I know she's going to share some pretty powerful information with us next week. So we will see you next Tuesday. So thank you again for joining us this evening, and thank you for all your feedback. Really appreciate you. And thank you, Joan Poon.
Yes.
Yes. That was good, Joan.
Good job.
Good night, guys.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night,
Yeah.
girls.
Night.
Bye.
Good night.